Yeah. I've been trying. I just messaged Isaiah if he was on. Oh, well, we'll
Sure.
see how this goes. Okay. Okay. So let's
Oh
get
my god, I have to do.
into some
I
Journey.
don't know. I have to. So you have to go. You have to click. You have to click right here. Then it says delete, and you can just.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Today we're gonna play some Journey. Now, I was supposed to be here with my friend Isaiah, but so far he's AFK right now, so we're just gonna be playing some simple Journey, just to get off started with the overall making of this YouTube channel, just the very start of it. Journey is probably one of my most favorite games that I've seen. Right now I only have three really favorite games. I think one of them is um, Infamous Second Son, and Journey obviously goes into the next place here. And another one would be Titanfall. There are good games, but I can figure out all that over time. Yeah, so okay, so Journey is obviously one of my most favorite games, and many people are going to ask why. Like, it is one of the top games of the year, so it isn't too big. Oh, yep, what's up? Hello. Um, but many people are going to be wondering, like, what makes Journey such an amazing game? And I think it's the environment and just the events that happen. It's not that there's big events like plane crashes or disasters or something that catches your eye, but it's something that's peaceful and full of freedom. So, yeah, look at this. Look how crazy. This is amazing. Like, I really love this very beginning, and it's all interactable too. I could go back down if I wanted to. So right now we're up above here, back during the beginnings. And yeah, so this is the first stage in level. I think this is probably the cooler or more interesting stage.
Definitely.
Don't mind who that was. So this is a good start off. So anyway, this first stage is really interesting because you can see all of these are graves. And what I kind of think is that it's like you're arriving into this new land. Everything is kind of the basic stuff you would originally have expected it to be. You know, it's very simple. It's like you got over there, you got just sand and sand everywhere. And this is the typical sand too. This is the typical yellowish sand that everyone kind of thinks that a desert would have. So of course this would be like the starting point. You're in this new world and you don't know what's going on. And I really like how so as you can see now we have our scarf, and what I really like about this is that it kind of just teaches you how to play the game. In the very beginning, it will give you a few button prompts. Like now it's telling me to hold X. I can hold X and I'll do a little flying. But it never repeatedly does that because it's very simple, just X and moving around and even looking around. And I really like the color, the coffee brown color of the sky. It looks really nice, and I like how the clouds are kind of all in this circular. Yeah, so we can obviously go flying quite a bit. And I really like the flowing of the gliding that comes from this. And as you can see, I'm no like non-experienced Journey player. I've gotten every single trophy on this game. I was very determined, as being one of my favorite games, I was very determined into... What? What is it? Oh, I'm back. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream right now. Okay. Okay, so that was, I don't know if you can hear Isaiah. That was Isaiah. Don't know why he's out of breath. But, yeah, so talking about this game is probably my most favorite. Because of its, like, even right here, it's telling you that these are graves. But you don't ever see that. And also, like, the circle button always does this. Like, oh, how do you live stream? Okay, so, how you would live stream is, I think my good friend Isaiah could explain this better than me. But, yeah, so let's go slide down over here before we continue. Okay, hello. Okay, so, Isaiah, I don't even know if people can hear you in the stream. It'd be pretty interesting if they could. Oh, that's cool, that's cool. Okay. Okay, so this is, I think it's probably my most favorite game because of the freedom that you're given. Like, even right here, I could just keep progressing through the game. I could just run all the way back to the very beginning. Yeah, I'm being serious. I could go all the way back to the beginning, or I could go all the way to the end without having to do any of the actual journey itself, but where's the fun in that? I could go all red scarf, I could go all blue scarf. Like right now I'm going white scarf. Right now... Now let's go into one of my more favorite. This part of the game is not where something is brand new. Okay, but it isn't where you can. It isn't where you can start off the game and understand what's going on. This is the part of the game where you're more into. This is the part of the game where you're more like happy, you're joyful that you're in this world, you're having fun, you're moving around at high speeds, you're always constantly moving, you're in this constant momentum that really puts you into the spirit of this game. Like even right now, like this pink sand that we're on right now, all of these little guys floating around, it's really nice. It makes you feel free, it makes you feel collected and happy and joyful, and I really enjoy it. Is that you're having a fun time. Like this is happiness, fun, and not being alone is another thing. So we're gonna go over here. This is one of the interactive cutscenes, and this is what I mean by I really like interactive cutscenes. So, yeah, yeah, but yeah, this is one of the really cool things. You can move around in the cutscenes. You're not limited in the cutscenes very much. So we're gonna go down. We can progress, but I don't like really rushing through this game too much. So one of the first things is that you can activate these little ribbons, and you can open up these little guys here. They will obviously give you more flying potential, which can be very useful at times. Actually, I think one of the coolest things is, yeah, you can do, I really like the flying in this game. It just feels so relaxing compared to a lot of other things like that aren't relaxing. Let's just activate these and let's continue. And what I really like is that you can multitask with the Up, and here's another interactive cutscene. I should be appearing pretty soon in the cutscene. Oh, but there I am. Oh. Yeah, so here I am in the cutscene. Now, this isn't probably the first, because I did say I wanted to make other types of videos, but this is mostly just to very much start off my, my channel. And I feel like showing my first favorite game is probably the best way of showing it. So, yep, we got another one of these. This isn't going to be a full guide. As you can see, I skipped like an entire part of the game. And the reason why I am skipping certain parts is actually based off of, hello, Alex. Yeah, I'm broadcasting right now. Isaiah is a bit AFK. Okay, so, as you can see, this is, Alex over here. Okay, so, I think this part is a little bit more slower. It isn't as over the top and crazy like a lot of the events that would take place in this game, or at least in this specific part of the game. Like, it's a little bit more fast-paced-ish, but it's a lot more slower at the same time. So what I really like is that right here, I could have picked that up if I took the right path, but of course, freedom allows you to choose what kind of path you want to take, and I wanted to take that path, but at the same time I was kind of getting out of struggle. So this is one of my more favorite parts of the game, is the golden textures that appear off here, the shining. I really like the particle effects that come off of this. It's nice and orange. You can just see, like, it's nice and orange, and it glows just perfectly. Like, this overall environment is very nice, and as you can see, you're still enjoying your freedom, but you're kind of gazing at, like, this really beautiful world, and, like, what's being made from it. Which I think is something that not a lot of people actually look at when it comes to this part of the game. Oh, Isaiah's been AFK for, just a little bit. He said he had to go, so I think he meant to go to the bathroom, but... So anyway, like, now you're seeing that there's all these shadows, but you can see the difference between, like, the light and the shadows and the particles. I really like all of the sand particles in this. Like, this is very beautiful. I really much enjoy this game for that particle effect that it has. Now, I know Journey isn't something new. It's definitely old to some people. It's definitely not at its best trend, but... you know, and so even in this part of the event, this is the event where we're still in complete control. I could probably fly around for a bit if I wanted to. So this is another thing too, is that you have all this complete control in these cutscenes. But even with all that control, you can still, like, look around and, like, see, like, even over here in, like, the darkest parts of this, like, area, you can find one of these glyphs. Which this one's pretty cool too, because this shows like the separation between the community of these wanderers, I guess you could call them. So we're walking around, we have this whole area here. I think it's really cool too, because even after you activate the meditation area, you don't have to go in. Like, I could probably stick my little feet up, never mind. But yeah, I really like the free angles of this camera, the third person view that this gives. Ooh. So as you can see, this is very interesting, especially considering. So, from this cutscene, I think this is the cutscene where you kind of learn that not everything is happy. And this is like the turning point. Because if you take A Hero's Journey, which is a very amazing book, by the way, is that A Hero's Journey is a basic set of laws that are going to take place. kind of like a clock, and each of those laws are going to be different events that take place, such as the beginning of the journey, the adventure that you're going to go through this, and then you have this point here where you're entering into a world that you do not know, which is less happy and more of this interesting type. So that's kind of my overall review. And actually, someone just finished the game. That was pretty interesting. You could hear that star shining around, and that is someone finishing the game. So there actually are some people playing this game. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and go into a different part of the world. We're gonna go not to the credits. If I can just take away the credits. There we go. Okay, so we are gonna go here to options, and we're gonna go to chapter select. I'm not showing it in complete order because it's pretty boring to go from beginning to end and not show off everything that is needed. So obviously we went over to one of these little areas back over here. Let's go over here and just grab these glyphs just so that we have things for flying. And yes, welcome back, Isaiah. Yep. You can scold them all you want. You know what's pretty, Alex, you know what's pretty weird is that, Carlos joined after you left. And he just happened to be playing Black Ops 3, so he just seemed like the perfect replacement. Like, after you left, Carlos joined, and then it's just like, oh man, that's pretty nice. It's like one person leaves for another. Unless Carlos was looking at the party the whole time, waiting for you to, like, someone to leave so he could join. The player limit. Yeah, it could be that. Okay, so anyway. I think, like, this is probably the coolest part of it. It shows basically the origins of... It shows the origins of, like, everything that is starting to grow, and I personally think that it's supposed to be that the light from this mountain is giving life to, like, plants and birds and animals, and even giving birth to this colony of whatever you want to call them, ribbon people. You can even see here, you can see all of these, you can see that it was showing, like, the ribbon being made. So the ribbon is just as alive, is made from the same light, and is just as alive as the plants and the animals and the birds and even these these cloaked people. So now we can go here. I like the little foreshadowing that it has here, because when you first walk through here, which I didn't show it, but when you first walk through here, it will show, like, a little wanderer of your own that's kind of a little bit like a red robe. Now, usually, you don't actually find them sometimes, especially now that the game is a lot more older and less played. Personally, I still really enjoy Journey as a whole. Okay, so now we're into the next area. This area is called the Broken Bridge. So this area, I think, is probably the most coolest. So, like, even now, this is a little bit of a flying trick that I just did. Now, as you can see, is that, like, if I fly high enough and then I go down and I try flying from a high place, like, you can see that I kind of pick up speed. Pick up quite a bit of speed. So we're gonna go over here, we're gonna pick up all this stuff, and I think this is probably one of my more favorite areas, because you can do these, like, even right here, I'm not actually flying, I'm using momentum to fly up into the air. And I really like how open area this is. So, I'm sorry I'm not commentating too well. I'm still new to commentating as a whole. I am not the best. I could be a lot better if I tried. But just to start off, I think this is probably the best commentating I can do for right now until I actually get used to it. But so people probably aren't going to be watching the broadcast. I am saving it, however, which is quite nice. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit a like if you want to. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you hit a like or don't. I'm really not looking for anything crazy. If you enjoy it, then you can leave a comment if you want, but it's not a big deal, and I'm not really focused on any of that right now. So anyway, we're going into this little area here. I was taught by someone else how to do this when they were fully white robed, and this lets you fly up super high in the air, and wow. Like, it's pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. I really love launching from that little spot. So, like, now I don't even have to make the bridge. I can just fly up in one single swoop. So, like, that is most of the area. I can technically open up the bridge if I wanted to. But who really wants to do that? So, okay, so now we're up on here. Now, let's see if I can do a launch with all my might. Here we go. Even right now, we didn't launch as high as I would have hoped. We did launch pretty high, though. Okay, so now I'm just gonna rebuild all of the energy here. Yeah, I do. Okay. Okay. Well, I need to first, I'll have to end my broadcast, which I kind of don't really want to. I care. I care about the people, and I care about the people who are going to be watching this. Like, actually, Isaiah, if you want to look at my broadcast for a second, I want to show something really cool that you can do. Oh, you are? Oh, cool, and you'll get to see this. Oh, that's quite a bit. Oh, that's quite a lot. Oh, wow. I just flew really... I wasn't even pressing the flying button. It just kind of launches you up with a lot of momentum. Let's see if I can do this. I didn't get to do it. Yeah, I think I really enjoy playing this game, especially on this part of the map. 'Cause I can do that same little glitch every single time. So wait, Isaiah, you actually are, oh yeah, you are watching. Now if I can just, there we go. Just stick my head into this crack in the rock, and then I think I'm gonna go in 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. I'm just flying really high up into the air. Oh, look at that. There we go. Look at that. Don't even have to build the bridge. Then I just go down. And back up. There we go. I really enjoy. Yep, this game is probably my favorite right now. Yeah, so this is the broken bridge showing. I think what's really cool about this part of the broken bridge is that you're kind of learning how to do some puzzle. You're learning how to do some puzzles. Now, while maybe not being the best, I can definitely do it. Like, see, right now, right now I'm even struggling. I haven't played this game in quite a bit. But I feel like that makes it so that it's a new experience for both of us, not just singly the people who are watching this video. You, by the way. But like even now, like this simple, like this simply alone makes this a really good part of the map. And they haven't fixed it either. They don't really wish to fix the game. Like look, you can even see all of the outer edges of this map. Like, I'm probably not going to try to go outside of the map. I think I'm good right here with the rest of this. So let's activate this. Let's look at the next meditation piece, and we'll go into the next area legitly, because we already skipped 2 places other than just Broken Bridge. So after Broken Bridge is probably what I would like to call I don't know what to really call it. I guess I'd call it Lime Sky and Strawberry Sand. Okay. So when it comes down to this, I think what I really like about this scene is that you're kind of learning that, like, there's already a little flicker of lights, but they're starting to build buildings. They're building the towers. They're building what made the bridges in the first place. And then they're going ahead and they're taking the ribbon that's in the air and they're kind of harvesting the ribbon and using its, like, force of light, which is in every living thing. Like, even the plants in here have the little white dots. But they're using the ribbon, and they're using the life force of the ribbon in order to power their city, as you can see. And that's really interesting, and it's pretty cool with that. But it kind of shows like what they're preserving on. They're mostly very focused on learning this specific resource and using it. So now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna fly over here to Lime Sky and Strawberry Sands. Now this is personally what I like to call it. Lime Sky, Strawberry Sands is basically the sky is green and the sands itself is kind of a pink, which is kind of like the so-called strawberry flavor color that always appears in a lot of things like bubblegum or ice cream. So that's how that works, specifically. But I think, because you had the first one was, when it came to Broken Bridges was teaching you the basics of solving a puzzle, being out there. You couldn't escape your journey, because the first thing everyone does when it comes down to the Broken Bridges is they try to escape. They try to explore past a certain boundary. As you can see, someone has finished the game, so that is really cool. There is a shooting star there. So we'll just say hello to whoever finished the game. Now, when it comes down to Lime Sky and Strawberry Sand, as you can see, Lime Sky, Strawberry Sand, what I really like about it is that it's very open and free. Because all around this entire area is a lot more bigger than Broken Bridges. And it's more desert, but at the same time, this color of the green and the pink becomes really interesting when you mix it together. It's also where you kind of are given this idea of these types of ribbon-like animals. And these animals are the jellyfish that were shown in the, in what I would call the hill slide, or as I should say, the golden desert hill. But, as you can see, like, it's pretty cool how they gave these weird animals, and I really like how they act too. Like, it's not just, and they don't focus on you all the time. Like, you can get its attention, but you're the center of attention. Because, like, there's more than just you in this world, and I think that's what's really cool. Like, it will interact with you every once in a while, like a cat, but it's not gonna stay there. It's gonna do its own thing, and as you can see, it's guiding you over time. Like, what's that? Well, someone just finished the game again. Yeah, so you really do find a lot of people finishing the game here when you're kind of in the middle of it. So let's just go here and activate this. Now, obviously, what's really cool is that they're giving you this style of knowing where to go in this vast hilly area. They're telling you where to go by just simply having up, and they also do this too, where they force you to kind of go up here, so you kind of figure out where you're needing to go. So right now, as you can see, like it's telling you where to go without actually forcing you. So even over here, there's stuff over here that they probably were gonna get to, but I already kind of knew about. So even as you see here, they're gonna bring you over there. Some of them will follow you. So it's kind of depends on where you really want to follow them or not. So right now, we're just gonna go over here because there's another ribbon area that we can unlock here. I think it was one of very few challenges. So we're gonna activate that. We're also gonna activate this glyph. Now there are several glyphs in this area. This one talks about kind of like the war that kind of went on. Now as you can see, kind of like the plants start to disappear and such as it goes on. So you have these mechanical machines that were being made and that were being harvested with the same power and kind of consuming at the same time of this light source. So you do have that coming up a lot. But yeah, so now if we go back over here, they were originally bringing me over here. And over here is another glyph, so we can activate this. Why not? So this glyph will lead you to just showing like the overall. And every single thing here has a white dot. This is because they're all connected. They have the same light. Up. What's that sound? Up. It's another. It's over here. Yep. See, look, another person just finished the game. So this is a really vast and large area, so it is very common for you to at least see one shooting star to be here. So we can go up as high as we want. We can kind of look around and see if we missed anything. But it's so very vast, because you have even over there, it's a completely other different section. And then you have over here as well. So right now, this other area over here, so this shooting star, I'm pretty sure is a event. It's not an actual shooting star. It kind of just crashes down and becomes a white glyph. So as you'll see, I think it was going to crash down. Oh, I know, this one right here. Okay, so that was someone finishing the game. So never mind what I was saying before. So then we'll grab this. We'll fly up as high as we can. Because we do want to kind of take advantage of... So even right now, we're flying up this really giant hill right here. And it's pretty crazy because you wouldn't expect us to be doing a whole lot. So now we are in this area. So now that we're in here, we got one of the 3 glyphs that are here. We're gonna try to go the other way. So there is a certain part, I forget where exactly it is. It's a mystic flower. So basically it's like the last living plant, and it's supposed to be a representation of the original games that they made, which was Flower, and they even have like a little flow thing as well. So yeah, we can probably do a Flower and flow review later on. But for right now, let's just go over here, and you can see how fast I'm moving. But that's because I'm starting to get used to the flow, the freedom, and the momentum that they're giving off. Same with these little ribbon birds, as I will call them. They kind of like interact with you. They kind of they get attracted when they swarm, and you feel like you're not alone when they're picking you up like this. And it also means you don't have to focus merely on your own power. You can actually have help from others. So like, see, even I didn't even need to technically fly. So now I'm gaining even more Scarf, and we have this entire flock of I'm gonna call these jelly ribbons. So now all these jelly ribbons are gonna probably fly somewhere else. You know, because guidance. Like, you need to be guided on where you need to go. So, obviously, they'll float around you. When you're close enough, they'll float around you. They'll give you little hugs, basically. So then you have this one jelly here. He's pretty brave. He's going down. All these jellies, they're kind of following like a flock. The flock of jellies. So now, as long as you stay by them, it's like you can even see now that they're kind of moving a lot more slowly over here, and not as quick. So like even now let's appreciate the sand particles that are coming off of this. Like look at that. Look at the sand particles. Even the kicking up of her feet. So now we're gonna enter into this darker, more deeper area. So this part right here it's a little bit more serious. It is a transition between the innocence that the lime and strawberry sky gave off, but now it's kind of not as innocent. We're seeing this. It's not treacherous. We don't know what's going on exactly. We just see these jellyfish, these jelly helpers, kind of hurt, and we're trying to figure out what's going on in Lightshees. And we see these machine heads, and if you didn't see the glyphs, then you won't be able to recognize that these are the faces of the machines. And you kind of start to, you get a bit, and if you saw the glyphs, then you kind of know this is one of the factories. And they're using these jellyfish to power it up. So basically, they're harvesting live animals. So now we're gonna take this next jelly. This jelly's gonna bring us up. Now that we're up here, we're in this area where we are above all of the dark things that are around us, that is kind of surrounding the area. And like that's the thing too, is you see all this dust, but you don't know where it's coming from. It's actually coming from these vents right here. It's like leftover like particles of the ribbon after they harvest the light, which is pretty scary to think of now when you mention it. So obviously what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead, we're going to click in all of these, we're going to go through the meditation, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to stop it and try to reassess what's going on exactly. Because I already technically did the what is it? The golden mountain slide. We already talked about that as like the first thing, just because I felt like it was kind of one that I wanted to start off with. So this is going to be talking about the golden mountain slide. It's talking about how the ribbons are powering the machines. We see these machines constantly. We see the ribbons that are in them. They're powering the machines with this light, basically. And this entire place wasn't all sand before. It was all utopia, grass, plants. And as you can see, industrial work is going into this. More lights. They're powering up more of their machines. They're powering up more of the economy. They're creating electricity and technology and so on and so forth. And now they feel like they're at the top of the world, and they're all very happy. So now, what's going to happen next? Well, that's the thing, is that, as shown, it kind of becomes a lot more darker from the original glyphs. So even now, you see all of the jellies, they're all saved. And then, because they're all saved, the next area is all about rejoicing. It's all about having fun, rejoicing. You just saved all of these jellies, and they're all your friends, and you want to have fun. And you enter into this bluish area. It's ominous and mysterious. It's mystique, if anything. And so what we're going to do is actually we're going to stop here. And we're not going to stop the entire thing. I do kind of want to show a little bit more. So yes, we're going to stop here. So what we're going to do now is that now that we've fixed this up, let's go here, and now that we looked at everything else, let's see what we got here to look at, because we already showed you technically 4 of the areas, so that's the area we were in before. Hello. Hi there. Yeah, but, well, this is being recorded for, entirely on YouTube, so this is for, not just one specific... Oh, and I really like how you can see the glyphs of what you find in here. What was I saying? I was, everything that I'm saying is technically, being recorded for YouTube, so... I'm definitely posting this on YouTube. Okay. we're getting on to probably, this is the more Mystique area. So you can see there's all this white light. You can see all this white light here, and all the sand is more bluish. Alex just got off randomly. He was just like, he was waiting for you, and then he kind of just got off on his own. He just left. No. Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna, because I have to record this. But, anyway, this is, you can see it's all blue. It's a different color scheme, because usually you have all these oranges and these reds and these yellows all the time. So seeing, like, this bluish color is really nice. The only other time you see a really cool, deep color like this is usually, with, Strawberry Hills. Yeah, with Strawberry Hills and, Lime Sky Strawberry Hills is the only other time you really see anything. Okay. It's the only other time you really do see, like, the vastness of this. So, like, even right here, this is a little effect where it makes you think, and it gives this eerie feeling of being underwater. Because of all the lights and kind of how they're illuminating-ish. Like, it feels like it's illuminating as if it were in water. And then you have all of these ribbons acting like seaweed and moving around. And you can climb up these as well, and this adds more freedom, but it adds this illusion that you're in the water, which makes it even more mystique, because it feels more unknown in this part of the stage because of its, like, nature. So, like, right now, I'm going to try to go in here to get this other glyph. More glyphs is, you can get all the glyphs, and it won't really matter towards the end unless you're going for a trophy, but it does help with some of the mobility and showcasing. So even right here, now you have the true ribbon jellies. These were ribbon squids that I call ribbon jellies, but these are actual true ribbon jellies. So we can climb up on these jellyfish. They're just as alive. They give off that same tone like everything else. There's actually one hogging a glyph right here. You shouldn't be hogging any glyphs, ribbon jelly. Right now, we're gonna pick up this glyph here. I'm hogging all the glyphs too, but I need them because I have an actual ribbon scarf, and I need flight. You guys can all fly, but I can't fly that infinitely. So now, this part is it takes less of a bluish, whitish turn and becomes more of a green. So as you can see, it's more like a turquoise green, kind of matches with the lights that were given off between this. So now you can see it's much more green, less blue. It still has some blue to it, and it's green, which makes it have a turquoise color to it, more towards aqua green. So now we're going to go here. I do not trust this statue, so this statue is going to come here. As you can see, now we find out that the robots are apparently, as shown here, they are still alive. One of them flew up into the holes up there. So now, we're going to have to be stuck with going into this area. So this is actually where they were being stored, and now it's turning even more green. See how green this turned? It was much more turquoise, but this is purely green. And this is where you start to really see the more darker side to it. You're learning about the evil that was created, and you're learning kind of what's going on. So now you see that the blue doesn't really symbolize any good anymore. It used to, but this is a really good example of teaching you without giving a prompt. So right here, it's showing that it turns red once it's in the spotlight, and then it attacks. So now you know that it's going to attack you the same way. It harvests and feeds on the light. It harvests and feeds on the light. Like even right now, it's right up there. You won't be able to really notice it now, because it's flying away. It's gone now. For like right now, but later on, it can turn back on its own. Even right now, there's like a bit of stealth added into it. And then you can see this guy is going to fly up. And even flies up, he's gonna fly back down. So like that wasn't just some random event. Look, there he goes. And this gets really eerie and scary. And like there is a way that you can either go frontal, or if you have the right amount of scarf or whatever, you can probably just go around these sides as well. Right now I'm going around the sides because also there's a glyph here as well. This is a really risky glyph to get, but I think at the same time it's a bit worth it. We're gonna go here with our glyph. We have plenty of ribbon. We don't actually die in the game, but losing your scarf is like losing a part of yourself, which is something that kind of comes with a recurring theme later on. So now we're gonna slide down. So this is kind of where we're taking this chance. We're going against our fear as they're going to try to attack us. This is kind of what we feel like that we're defeated. Because they're attacking us, we need to hurry up. Everything turns golden instead of green. Everything turns yellow. And then the light shines up and stops it. And I think this is a really good part to continue from. So right here, all of the turquoise and all the evil and dark color is kind of gone now, and we're entering into here because this area, I'm gonna have to say, is a lot more oriented towards the color of yellow. The Golden Hill was more towards orange, like an amber. It was golden amber. This is more towards a golden yellowish color, and it's much more of a brighter light than an actual shine of a metal. And yes, Isaiah, I know you're there before you... I said I know you're there, and that I'm not ignoring you. I'm really focused. Like, you can even see our scarf kind of waving around in the back. I really like the design on the scarf and like the fabric and how it moves. Like now you see that it's basically that they had a war with these machines, and the machines kind of fed on the life force. And now all these dead bodies that are around here, there's one thing that's missing, is their white dot in the middle, which tells you that they're dead, which is pretty simple. And that it's the life force. And then all the sand comes up, the stars are in the sky once again, symbolizing like life as a whole. And then you have all the stars kind of aligning and creating this this being, which is you. You are this red-robed figure. I'm white in this version of the game because I played it and I wanted to be in a more supreme tone. But in this part, this is one of the cutscenes that you don't get to really control yourself, but they do this on purpose because obviously I'm meditating, so there is kind of this reasoning behind it. It isn't kind of like forced upon you. So like even now we're entering into this next area. It's very dim, I'm gonna have to say, in what this is supposed to teach you is this next area, which I like to call it technically, I like to call it the Light Tower and the Tower of Time. And so what this is basically just an area, and it's completely dark right now, and there's a light at the very top, which is basically your main goal, is to get up there. But as you can see, you're kind of guided by all of the lights that kind of illuminate as you go on. And it helps you at the very start, and then you kind of just continue, and you kind of figure it out on your own. Like what to do that's right and wrong. So you'll activate these, you have to activate these glyphs on purpose in order to continue going up the tower. And it will create this this yellow golden light. So now that we have this, we got infinite flying here, and we have all these other little ribbon things kind of flourishing, that are kind of flourishing in this golden, I'm gonna call it a dust pool. So it kind of acts like water in a sense. And you kind of have these lights activating, telling you to go over there, if you didn't already get the pattern of having to go into here. You'll kind of activate these. You'll go over here as usual and activate the next glyph. Now this glyph obviously talks about I think this talks about strawberry sand and lime sky, strawberry sand. it talks about, more specifically on that part, you can see that some of this stuff is actually lifting up into the air. Actually, if we look, the actual machine itself did lift. That's really nice to see, that extra add-on of detail to make it so that it's kind of all lifting up to become like one singular like glyph assortment. Right now we're just there we go. Yeah, so I'm just gonna collect all the glyphs here because they're very important as well. So now we got the ribbon jellies. Ribbon jellies are for life. Yeah, so we got the ribbon squids and the ribbon jellies, and it feels like these guys don't really feel like they fit in place because of the fact that they're not in their more misty blue ocean-like environment. But at the same time, it feels really nice to have these things here because jellyfish are kind of majestic at times. Not gonna lie, they're weird, but they're majestic at times. They can be really interesting at very certain key points in the game. So as you can see here, getting into, yep, and here we are, we got the sea dragon, as I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the ribbon dragon. Ribbon dragon, sea dragon. Always a dragon. So now, I'm going to go down here. I'm pretty sure there's a glyph down here you can get. Though, it might have already disappeared. Which is fine, we don't need to get every single glyph, no one's perfect. Now we're going to go fly all the way up at full speed. Actually, here's a glyph. There it is. Actually, you can get 2 glyphs in this one singular part, so actually I'm pretty sure... Yeah, so all of the glyphs that we're activating are actually ending up... They're actually getting lifted up right now by a single sort of mechanism. Which is pretty nice. It adds a bit more extra detail. So now, we're gonna go over here, actually. Oh, that is a very nice comment. But, yeah, I really like the exploration in this game, and I really like the swimming in this game as well. Like, our character in this, like, form, they kind of swim. They kind of float at the same time, especially when they're trying to fly. Yeah. It's a family member that saw it, and yeah, and they started kind of bugging me about it, but no, remember when I was talking about if they could hear you in the game? Like if they could hear you in the live stream, but they answered that they couldn't. That's all they were talking about. So like even right here with these ribbons. These ribbons are I really like the kind of gliding mechanism, and I really like when you just try to fly. I really like that you can fly down while using this. It's not as effective here because they kind of do a little loop. But when you're traveling upward, there we go. And I really like the soundtrack in this game. You can just hear like the flutes and even the violins and the bass that's coming up. And even right now, the thing that we're standing on is actually getting lifted up. So all the glyphs that we actually did, they got lifted up and are actually right here. Like, they were all the way down there, but they kind of had this mechanism where they would get lifted up along with the rest. Of course, none of them are illuminated except for the one that we just did. Actually, no, that one's not illuminated anymore. Yeah, I saw that. I really like how this one is kind of like the supreme area. And I really like how this area reminds me. This area reminds me a lot of like, it reminds me of the very beginning area when you first meditate, because you had this bridge that was sort of broken that you had to climb over by summoning ribbons here, and then you had all these like areas that you could go to. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to meditate here, and then I'm going to show off the last area. I really like this meditation sequence because it actually is more of a cutscene, and less of just a simple scene of the glyph. It actually has everything illuminating and making it much more brighter. And kind of like all the knowledge and kind of all the light, like, yeah, I know, knowledge, but it's kind of just all connecting, and then you're standing right in front of one of these giant versions of these guys, and they're and it's weird too, because you already know about their past, and now it's showing like your journey so far, and even continuing upon what is going to happen. Okay, and it's showing, like, it shows the ribbon squids. It shows you going down the hills of the Golden Mountain Hills, finding all the seaweed and the jellyfish and such, and attacking, going up the tower, and even now it's showing us struggling to get to the mountain. And it shows wind. Now what's really cool is that at the very tips of these mountains, it's actually taking away some of the dashes to symbolize that it's not sand, and that there's actually texture. Now it shows us the mountain. And now we go into this next stage. And this is kind of like one of the more depressing stages of the matter. It's much more slower. It does seem like a much more longer part of the journey. All of these were much more quicker. Because obviously you had the broken bridge, you had Lime Sky, Strawberry Sands, which was pretty interesting. You had the amber, the golden amber hills. Then you had the kind of like half and half journey where it was the blue ocean, the mystic ocean of sand, like the mystic mirage, and the kind of greenish like mechanical horror area, and then you have this golden light tower that's kind of in this area. So now that you have all of this, the next area you'd be going to is into this completely white and snowy area, and it's the first time that you see something other than sand. It's actually snow. So now you're kind of running into this cold area, and you kind of figure out the mechanics of how it works, because it doesn't just work like any other mechanic. It's actually, the mechanics of this area is based off of the cold itself, in that the light that you have on your character, actually, so you can even see, there's a bridge right up there that we need to get to, and then there's also the light. So now we're in this area where it's a lot more dull. It's all about more towards the what is it? It's more pointed towards the, even right here, you can see those things are glowing red. That's not good. And then you find out that the machines are kind of still here. So in this area, it's a lot of snow, and I think this game, this part of the stage is a lot more slower. Lower parts of the stage. And even here, you can see that our character is like freezing up. Like they're actually getting ice all over them, and they are becoming more obscure over time. It's very slight cover-ups, but you can kind of see it. see all the snow. Okay. Yeah, so this is the really slow part, and I really do not like getting blown all the way back after trying so hard to move forward. So I kind of try to fly just a little bit on my way through. The flying doesn't really help too much. We're gonna move this way. Yeah, we're gonna have to stay right here. I was gonna attempt to go over there, but the risk is not worth it, I'll say. But yeah, right here, this is all about using your tactics and trying to, like, common knowledge, like, oh, what stops wind? Oh, being behind something will stop you from getting blown away by wind. So obviously, you'll take that common knowledge into account. Right here, the wind starts to pick up and such. You can see all the snow and all the wind that is constantly hitting. Even right now, I don't want to risk it by trying to go in there, because you can still get hit by the wind even if you go past. But as you can see, like, it's all white, and it's not like a good white. Like, this is more of a palish white, like a gray, and less like a bright light white. And it makes this snowy feeling and, like, look. And then you can see there's a bunch of graves everywhere. And then even now, you kind of see these frozen little ribbon things, and you used to be so happy, and you kind of lose your innocence, like, upon this journey, like this journey that you thought was so happy. Now you kind of have to guide this thing over to a new area where it's a lot more warmer. So you have to keep warming it up. So then you bring it to this area where it'll be nice and warm. Make it so that it's warm enough, it's gonna bury itself in the ground. Now it is more safe. Actually, I think you can even go in there. Okay. Now that it's there, we're gonna continue. And right now, this is probably the only other time that you see the moon, because usually you're used to... So there's a big giant shift change as well, because usually you're used to seeing the sun and it being morning and there being sand and it being very, very hot. But now, it's night, you can see the moon, and it's not sand, it's snow, and it's very, very cold. And also you can see we're very limited, because usually when all the sand was there, you had open space that you were able to get to. Here, you don't really have open space. You don't have the open space. You're kind of restricted to this exact path. So now, this is probably one of the cooler spots of the overall, like, game. Because what it is it's a warm spot. It's kind of like a little bit of salvation to tell you to keep moving forward. And look, even right here, you can still see the, and I really like this image right here. It shows the fighting, but it's very interesting to see the overall battle. So now we're in this warm spot. We're all nice and warm, and we can be all toasty next to this fire. We can just sit down. We can relax, take a breather, and even the music is just so much more nicer. And it's all violin and such, and it's nice, and you got chimes. So now let's continue. We're gonna have to continue at some point, but you can stay there if you want. But then even with the wind, you can see that you're kind of still prevailing, because you just went into that hot spot, and now you're completely safe. And now you are determined to continue. So now this is where you find out that, like, the cold is probably one of the ribbon's main weaknesses. You can go here and kind of use this frozen ribbon as like your pathway. So now we're gonna actually try to fly if we can. Your flying isn't as stronger during this stage of the game. So now we get into this part. This is known as like the struggle stage. We can see that the monster was kind of up there, like the guardians, the sentinels, whatever you want to really call them now, the reapers. What you want to do is you always want to first try to go over here, try to build up enough speed, find a good time. You can even see that all of these ribbon people they're kind of like, all the ribbon like creatures are kind of like hiding away. So now right here, the difference is we could go all the way onto the left side, but what's the fun in going on one singular side and constantly walking away from the battle? We want to have some sort of action, and I kind of want to show just the legitness of this. So now we're playing a lot more stealthy. We still want to use our own brain. We're kind of stealthily we're hiding and doing it very nicely. It's like right now we're completely protected behind this. Of course, if he ever was to spot us, we could easily die. Now I'm looking around. There it is. Now we don't even have a place to hide. So what we're going to do first, we're going to try to snuggle up to the ribbons here. Try to get warm if we can. Then we're going to continue. Now we want to try to instantly book it for the door here. We might get caught. Okay. Up and... no, we didn't get caught. Okay. Now let's look around. Okay, it's right there, so it's probably going to come down pretty soon. So we want to get ready. Set. Here we're going to go. Okay. Okay, so that's basically how it works there. Now, I don't know if I should go. No, let's go. Let's go. We still got a few more hiding spots there, which means that it's more likely going to be more stealth. Even right now, that little squid, the ribbon squid, even right now, all this wind right here is slowing us down and stopping us. Up, here he goes, he's scanning the area. See, we're doing pretty good. Like, it doesn't notice us, it doesn't see us. It's like right above us. So this is a good time to move. We might still get caught if we're not careful. There we go. There we go. So now that it looked over there, we're gonna move on. I kind of want to move to where it originally already looked. Uh-oh. That's not good. Up. We're gonna wait, and then we're gonna move. We're gonna wait for it to go and turn. That way is a good direction. Oh no. Okay. So now we have this, and it's going to scan over here, obviously. It's really, really low. Technically, we could get caught if we were to touch this thing. Luckily, I don't think we can fly up enough to touch it, and I think if we did, we'd get hurt. Now we're right here. We gotta wait before we can book it. We're gonna wait till it goes straight over this area. We're gonna wait till the light is gone. We're gonna continue. We're gonna go straight for it. I don't know if flying is really the fastest way to do it. There we go. So now we're in in this area. Okay, now we're in this next area. So here is kind of like, you can hear the flute. You can hear kind of like this fluting brass in the background. We're in this like little area where we kind of keep seeing more of the environment. Now we're in the all clear, but we're still kind of looking at everything here. So we're kind of seeing all the reminiscences of like everything being cold and like all the bad that is going on around this area. We're kind of seeing all of that bad. And that's kind of what the violin solo is going off with. How everything is refreezing. Okay. So now we're in this next area where we're entering into. So as I said, it is a lot longer. As you can see, it is a lot longer. This is way longer than it was for the Golden Light Tower. But even then, this is kind of more than just one part, because now we're in part 2 basically. The first part was the treachery. This is the second part, which is more of the struggle. So this is where we're going to go into the part where we're mostly struggling. What we're going to do is, you can see the wind's blowing. We're probably going to get blown back. What we need to do is we need to run in there when the time is right. So now the time is right. So you can see the gameplay does get slowed down so much. You're so limited in these struggled environments. And it really does symbolize just how weak you are in this situation. Just the lack of control. You're kind of ordered and controlled and not free to do whatever you want in these stages. And it really does stink. You're stuck having to do certain things in a certain period of time, or you're going to not progress. Even right now, I'm trying to fly up. This is usually just a faster way of there. And you're limited too. Like, right now, we're trying to run across this. Now we're on to the treachery right here. Now I really like the symbolism of the lightning coming from a snowstorm. Lightning and thunder never comes from a snowstorm, and I really like how they added this rare occasion where thunder and lightning actually happen in a snowstorm, which is something that never happens, and they added that as a symbolism to just the overall terror and struggle and the power that's all around the area. And just how hard you have to work for it. Wait, Isaiah, how do I stop the live stream later on? Actually. Okay. For a second, I thought it said we had a friend. It says it's someone is behind us, but we're going to continue. Now we're going to keep moving forward here. So, as you can see, like even right now, it's a little like low on the side of my screen. I don't know if someone is actually behind me. It does seem like it is, but I don't know if someone is actually behind me trying to get my attention, or what's going on. I'm going to keep moving forward. Yeah, I'm just going to keep moving forward. I don't think there's any problem. Now you can even hear the sound kind of stops. It did like a little cliffhanger type of violin string. And now there's no music at all. And the light from the mountain kind of disappears and these clouds kind of come into play. Kind of block it up. Like even the edges of the screen are white to symbolize that we're getting cold and everything's kind of getting dimmer. Yes. And right here you can see the monsters in the background and you can like barely see the moon. So you can see a guy over there. It's pretty interesting. Up, and we passed out. And the guy I was chasing, I think he passed out too. So I think at the very end, I think we actually met someone, which is pretty interesting. So now we're going into this area. We're going into this next area. This is the ending of the game, but I really like the symbolism in this next part. Because this cutscene is very important. Because you have like these 6 like ancestors, and it's really weird because in the symbolism it was the 3 of each kind of separated. So like 6 of them separated into 2 different like clans basically. And then you have the 6 originals kind of reforming. You can see the light kind of glowing in our eyes here, meaning that we kind of are still alive. And you can see all the kind of like the glyphs and the lights particles kind of all around us. And then you have this area here, and we're glowing all gold. We just fly up into the air. And then we're controlling our character who's flying around. Machines here as well. Breaking through all of the clouds. And then once you do, you just end up in this area here. Now we're in this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so even in this area, right now I'm probably being a little bit quick. Yeah, so right now, even there's a guy with a red robe here. Like even right now. So this is really cool that we got to at least see someone towards the very end. Even right now, I'm being a little bit quiet, but I'm kind of doing that on purpose. Even right now, we kind of red robe. He's not very experienced either. He's actually probably a new player, which is even cooler. Of course, we're gonna have to leave them. So now we're in this area. You can see the ribbon dragons, and you can see all the jellyfish, and you can just see how high everything is. We can go on these jellyfish and just continue to fly through the jellyfish. especially someone who's... Then we, of course, lose our scarf towards the end because we don't need it. And we get to basically continue to walk forward. Like, it's weird too, because this person is fully experienced. And you kind of basically keep walking forward. And as you keep walking forward, you're not supposed to usually have a friend. Sometimes you would. In some situations, you'd have like a companion. In this, you do have a companion, somewhat. Basically, you have two companions. And yeah, so the two companions. And you would always enter into the light. You usually enter into the light so that you can get to the mountain. And in turn, and then you would be forced to walk into the light, and everything would be consumed. Like, the camera would start to drag backward. You would just kind of slowly but surely walk into the light. And that was a very, very simple review and slight playthrough of Journey. Now this is why I enjoy the game. And I've shown all of everything that I like about the game. I've gone over it. I've went over everything about the game that I personally enjoy. And this is a pretty good hour and 25 minutes, I'm going to be totally honest. I very much enjoyed it. And of course, the symbolism of the one glowing grave right there in front of all the other ones means that you kind of became one with all the other graves, that you're kind of with everyone else, and you fixed everything, for that matter. And now I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to be quiet and you can listen to the credits, but I'm going to give my own personal opinion on the overall journey itself. Thank you for playing Journey. I don't think I'll ever really get rid of this game. Like, yeah, that game company. They are amazing creators. And to create a game like this is amazing. Very nice to see. You have all of these different people who developed this game, that made the game what it was. And it's beautiful. It has all of these symbolism. It has all of these add-ons to it. And just all of the levels themselves had this different feeling to it about your journey. And Austin Wintory, like, you did amazing job with composing this music. Like, Austin Wintory did an amazing job making the journey for music. He did a lot of journey. He did a lot of, he made the soundtrack for Flow. He did it for Journey. He did it for Abzu, which a lot of people think that Abzu was made by that game company. Actually, Abzu was not made by the same people, so far as I know, that made Journey. Actually, it was only Austin Wintory that was anywhere near Abzu compared to this game. So I very much enjoy this game. Definitely worth some of the wait just to go through some of just one or two levels at a time. I really enjoyed it. to say thank you to everyone who made this game. I'm not great with names. I'm not going to remember everyone. But I liked reading through these credits and just seeing. And that's the thing, is that it's not really about the destination. It's about the journey, which is what this game is all about. Like, a game like, what's a really interesting journey game, or a game that could have been good, is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was something that everyone was looking forward to, and I think when it comes down to executing an ending that you don't purely give an answer to is when you tease it or not. Because No Man's Sky teased about the middle of the universe and what it's like, what's at the center. For Journey, they did tease about the mountain, but they didn't go too deep into it. They kind of just gave you the mountain and told you to move forward and go to that mountain. You didn't really know what was there. And you had a shooting star that kind of flied on by, and then you were there. And then you just saw the light of the mountain and you followed it. Out of curiosity, of course. You weren't being teased once or twice, you just saw that mountain, it was your objective, you wanted to keep going to it. But as you kept going, I think it was in Journey, it was all about the journey that made it so great. And usually when the ending turns out to be non-fulfilling, where it doesn't actually change anything, those are the times that you want to do it. No Man's Sky or any other type of game, they sometimes don't do it right, which is why Journey is such a great game for that matter when it comes to its ending. So that was, of course, Journey. Pretty amazing, not gonna lie. I personally enjoy the game. Some people don't like this game, others do, and I really like how the stars here kind of start to appear. So I'm pretty sure I met one single person. So thank you to that person who kind of met me at the very ending of this area. And I really like the sunset and how the stars are kind of all appearing, though the sun is starting to climb up. But as you can see, this is an amazing game, and I really like how everything still fits in. Even at the very end, I really like the credits, especially. Sometimes I'll just play the ending just so I can get to the credits, but not usually. And as you can see, we can start a new journey. Thank you, everyone who is watching this. And thank you for taking your time to look at this and to listen. And maybe you didn't listen through all of it, maybe you did. Doesn't matter. Thank you. If you liked this, you can press the like button if you want, you don't have to. It's no big deal. Comment if you have any opinions on this game. Don't really have to do that either. Really, just do whatever you feel is right. Okay, see you guys later. My name is Prism Master, and I will be signing off.